So it's a bit hard to believe, but it's actually only been exactly 1 month since Major League Baseball halted spring training and postponed the 2020 season. I thought it would be a good time to look back at that question of what's going to happen moving forward based upon what we've seen from the past month. Should we just cancel the 2020 season right now, pack things up, and prepare for the future? That's what we're going to talk about today. We cover a whole host of different topics here on the MLB Trade Rumors YouTube channel, so please do head down below before we get rolling and subscribe to keep up with all of them. Now, I certainly understand why some folks have said, let's just cancel the season now. Let's put that out of the docket of things to do and focus on what's most important. I understand that there's no baseball writers out here arguing to cancel baseball because it's good for them. It's not good for them, believe me. They're doing it from an honest belief and an honest focus on what's most important. And I share their belief in what is most important. That being said, I don't think it's time now in mid-April to abandon hope of a season. Remember, it was just a month ago as we started off talking about that spring training was halted in the first place. This opinion that I'm giving you today, it's not based on my view of baseball and how important it is to the national psyche or to entertain individuals. It is important for those reasons, but that's not super unique. We need it, we want it, we should have it for those reasons, but they're not good enough to draw resources away from public health. That being said, I still believe we should be focusing, MLB should be focusing on ways to hold this season in a safe and responsible manner. All right, so am I saying, hey, forget about public health experts, we need to get back to work? No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that whatsoever. To the extent possible, to the extent it's not drawing their attention away from the most pressing matters, Major League Baseball can and should be engaging with public health experts, working with them to make sure this all happens not only in a legally feasible way, but in a manner that is truly responsible. And this is the same, and this is the key point for all businesses and all individuals. We should be first and foremost respecting the public health process, focusing on the fact that it's not just the safety of ourselves, it's our broader collective safety at issue here, but we should also be working to make sure that our communities, our businesses, and our regular lives can continue to the extent possible. Now, how is baseball going to get through a situation where we could have rolling stay-at-home orders? We might have shifting legal directives. We might have ebbs and flows of this pandemic over time in different places. How can baseball deal with that? The answer is that I have no idea. Baseball has no idea. Nobody has any real idea at this point precisely how it's going to be done. And that's exactly the point. As we stand here in mid-April, we don't know. What we need to do is listen to the scientists, the virologists working to solve the disease, the epidemiologists working to figure out things from a global perspective, the doctors in the field, all the first responders, all these folks that are working on solutions to the supply chain, to the broader governmental public health issues. We need to allow them to sort out how we're going to tackle this disease and how we're going to move forward as a country, as a world. And as they're doing that, we need to think about how our individual things can fit into that broader picture and realize that the picture now, 1 month since spring training was canceled, is going to look a lot different 1 month into the future. What we need, what Major League Baseball needs to be doing is thinking creatively, thinking expansively, looking for flexibility, and thinking about ways to build in many different contingencies and explore many different possibilities to allow the business to get back to as much as it can be the way that it used to be. Now, obviously, the touchstone here has to be the science. We need reason, we need evidence, we need to pursue things logically, we need to do it in the right manner. But baseball should not be mocked for coming up with somewhat wild scenarios for holding the season. You might remember that back right after spring training was halted, there was talk about moving the Mariners opener from the state of Washington to an alternative site. That was never going to work. Baseball should be commended for doing what it is now, which is exploring bigger picture ways to deal with this in a flexible and thoughtful manner. Whether or not any individual idea is actually likely to work out. They've been mocked for the All Arizona proposal, the idea of expanding spring training to have a grapefruit and a cactus league, holding games in Japan. I don't necessarily think any of those particular approaches will work, but we've been told by those that would know this is just a small portion of the many possibilities under consideration. I think baseball is absolutely correct for looking at all possibilities. Taiwan, which announced its first case the day after the United States, has maintained complete control over the pandemic for a whole variety of reasons we certainly will not go into here. And do you know who started playing baseball just yesterday? That's right, Taiwan's Chinese Professional Baseball League has officially gotten its season underway. The Korea Baseball Organization also getting started soon. That's not to say those seasons will go perfectly smoothly. They're starting without any fans in the stands, but it is proof that there is a potential path forward, and there's one that we should at least attempt to pursue. We can always stop if we need to, but now in mid-April is not the time to give up hope. That's my opinion anyway. I only share it with you because it comes from an honest and good faith place. That's the only reason I would ever drop an opinion on you, because you know MLB Trade Rumors doesn't do too many of those. But let me know if you disagree in the comments. We can all respectfully discuss this matter together, even on the internet in 2020. Please do like the video. Please do subscribe on your way out. Talk to you again tomorrow.